Pontilivski,
Yes.
Commissioner Basleys,
Here.
Commissioner Cedeno, Commissioner Sefeli, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day, Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Chairperson Romano.
Here.
Please stand to salute the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, notice is hereby given that the Hudson County Board of Commissioners will hold a special meeting on today, Tuesday, July 9th at 2026 at 6 p.m. The Commissioners' Chambers is located at the Administrative Building Annex, first floor, 567 Pavoni Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. First resolution is the first item is a resolution designated as resolution number 1 on the agenda. The resolution to exceed the county tax levy limits and establish a cap bank per NJSA 48:4-45.15. This was moved by Chairperson Romano, seconded by Commissioner Lopez on May 14th, 2026. This is the fixed time for the public hearing on the resolution, which was advertised with the notice of hearing for this time. Are there any speakers on this resolution only?
Okay.
You are limited to 3 minutes on any comments on the cap.
And explain to the audience what they can only speak on.
You can only speak on resolution number 1, which is the cap.
That's it. Alberico, on behalf of the county executive, Craig Guy has a statement to read. Go ahead, Alberico.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. As you said, on behalf of the county executive, I'd like to read a statement from his office and our county executive himself. Today, our Hudson County executive, Craig Guy, announced an amendment to the 2026 county budget allocating an additional $1.31 million in additional funding for legal services, rental assistance, and food security programs. Under this amendment, the Hudson County Law Department will receive $150,000 to be applied for constituent legal services. The Office of Food and Health Equity, under the Department of Health and Human Services, will receive $160,000 for food pantry providers helping to fight hunger in Hudson County. And the Office of Family Services and Reintegration will receive $1 million for rental assistance programs. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Alberico. I thank the county executive on behalf of the Board of Commissioners for working collaboratively with the board to ensure that this aid is distributed to those that need it. Okay, Mr. Clerk, continue.
Yes, another public announcement. The budget is not going to be adopted tonight. The only resolution that is being considered is resolution authorizing the 2026 budget to be read by title. The budget is not going to be heard tonight, so there will not be a hearing on the budget tonight.
So, well, again, reiterating, only on item number 1, the cap.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, continue.
If anybody would like to speak to resolution number 1 only, providing that there's a 3-minute limit on the cap only. Seems to be no speakers. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion. Motion seconded by Rodriguez.
The public hearing on the cap. Just on the resolution to allow the county to exceed the cap, that's all. Not on the actual budget.
Motion to,
Continue.
could I have a motion to close?
We did.
Yes.
Motion. Rodriguez and was that Lipsky? Rodriguez and Lipsky.
On the resolution, Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys,
Yes.
Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes.
The next resolution I will read is a resolution authorizing the 2026 budget to be read by title. Can I have a sponsor and a second?
Sponsor.
Second.
Rodriguez and Celeste.
There is no necessity for a roll call on this. It is now sponsored. It would be used and voted on when the budget is being considered for adoption.
No, you gotta take a vote now.
Oh, you want me to?
Take a vote.
You said not to before. Okay.
Take a vote.
Okay, on that resolution, Aponte Lipsky,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys.
Yes.
Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Yes.
Commissioner Williams. Chairman Romano.
Yes.
Chairman, I have no further business for tonight.
Do you have a public hearing on the budget?
We did.
No,
No, that's-
no,
no,
now,
no,
Now-
Public hearing on the budget.
We had it on the
right
cap
now.
before.
Correct.
Okay.
Any member of the public,
We're having a public hearing on the budget. Okay.
Yes.
100%, yes.
Yes.
Are there any members of the public that would like to speak on the budget this evening? Remembering that if there's a 3-minute limit,
There is no limit unless
I
we
was,
vote to set a limit
I was,
on a
I'm
budget.
sorry, Commissioner, that's what I was informed. That's
I
all.
don't know who informed you that, but I know the law pretty well. And unless we vote to limit the time, there is not a limit on a budget as opposed to other items that we vote on.
Okay, let's make a motion to set a limit. Can't be unlimited.
5 minutes.
Okay, motion.
I make a motion for 5 minutes, not 3 minutes.
On the motion to limit to 5 minutes, public speaking, Commissioner Aponte Lipsky.
I'm sorry.
Motion,
What do you want for a time limit on
well,
speakers?
actually, I need a second. I need a second on that.
Go ahead.
Did you-
She said aye, second.
Okay. Commissioner Basleys,
Yes.
Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes.
Motion passed. Are there any speakers as to the budget with a 5-minute limit?
Come up, David.
I'm going to speak on behalf of the HCST, CRC. Would that be considered part of the budget? Because this is our closing of our department?
Not,
Wait, before we start the timer.
no, I don't think so. Legal?
I,
We're not discussing that.
I disagree. There's funding in this budget for the schools of technology.
Yeah.
That funding impacts employees.
Give us a ruling there, Mr. Lawyer.
I agree.
Somebody?
What was the question?
Question is it the part of our budget to be discussed concerning the Hudson County Schools of Technology?
No. If it's included inside, yeah. Of course.
So it's yes.
Yes.
Yes, go
All
ahead,
right, very
David.
well. I'll let the time begin. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is David Morell, Vice President of the HCST CDC Association. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak tonight. We are grateful that you have been willing to explore ways to integrate us into the county workforce and to consider us placing us in any position that may be available. Your willingness to hear us and help us transitions means a great deal. But we are here tonight because we need something very specific, something that determines whether we can survive this transition without being financially harmed. We are asking the county to consider a resolution of any mechanism available that would allow us to be made whole as we move into county employment. Right now, we are losing everything we have accumulated over the years of service, our vacation time, our sick time, and our comp time. These are not luxuries. These are benefits we earned through the years of showing up, doing the work, and serving the residents of Hudson Housing. Losing them is not just a financial loss, it is a loss of stability and loss of fairness. Out of a group of 15 employees, 5 will not be seeking employment with the county. 2 feel forced into retirement, not because they already are ready, but because they feel they have no other choice. 3 others do not want to work for the county because the transition leaves them worse off than what they started. This means 1/3 of the workforce is being pushed out entirely. We also made a very reasonable request to the district to grant us 60 days of continued health insurance so we can transition into the county employment without a gap in coverage. That request was denied. We were told we should only receive 30 days because of that many of us and our families will have a full month with no health insurance at all. And to make matters worse, we were just informed today that we must pay our full employee contribution for the month of July. Even though our employment ends on June 30th, for many of us, that means if we normally pay $400 per month, we will be charged an additional $800 out of our final paycheck. After years of service, to have our last check reduced by that amount, while others are losing on the accumulated time facing month without coverage, is demonstrably unfair and financially damaging. Commissioners, we are not asking for any Anything excessive, we are asking to be made whole. We are asking not to lose what we earned. We are asking not to be left uninsured. We are asking not to be forced into retirement or unemployment because of decisions we did not make. You have the power to help us. You have the ability to put forward a resolution or directive that ensures we do not lose our accumulated time, that we can transition into county employment without a lapse in health coverage or an unreasonable financial burden. Thank you again for your time, your consideration, and your willingness to hear us. We hope you will stand with us and ensure that this transition is fair, humane, and reflective of years of service we have given to this community. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
have
David.
I have a question. So as part of this, do you have individuals that got notified, I don't know, less than a month ago?
Yes, sir.
That you're no longer be employed, correct?
Yes, yes.
Now,
As
what
of
if you
45
had
days ago.
60 days of vacation and sick time? What happens?
They will be just paid out,
So they'll write you a
but they'll,
check?
yes,
So they would write you a check for any days that are on?
yes.
Okay. I mean,
And 3-1 for our sick time.
I'm explaining it to me.
So for every 3 days, you get 1 day paid out of sick.
Oh, so
Yeah.
if you have 60 sick days, you get a check for 20.
Correct.
You don't get the camouflage. I
No,
mean, that-
yeah, it's fine.
well, it's not fun to me if you if
Well-
for no fault of yours, you get severed from employment, you should get paid every day that's owed you, especially by an institution that has allowed individuals
What?
to not work for 2 years and continue to get paid a full salary.
If I can elaborate, so we are losing 5 employees that are not going to continue. They could have found 8 positions or 9 positions for us to be employed at the school in some capacity. It's just they're cutting off our union entirely. We could have transitioned easily into the school. We would have switched to the school's insurance if it meant keeping our jobs. We feel this is like totally unfair if we were being punished for over politics, really. That's what really we're being punished for here, and we're just collateral damage.
All right.
Not because we never failed to do our jobs or anything.
Yeah, no one has asserted that this unit doesn't do their job in any way, shape, or form. You're correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next speaker.
I want to make a comment.
Go ahead.
With respect to the time that all of the employees have, they're saying that you need to pick up your insurance you're losing your insurance as of June 30th?
Yes, so the district is willing to pick up 30 days additionally, so we'll be covered to July 30th. But if we're going to transition into the county, they should give us at least 60 days so we can transition peacefully with no break in service. Now, the only thing is they're making us pay our employee contribution for that extra month, which I thought the school would just pick it up completely and just give us the 30 days or transition into the 60.
And we're gonna ask for Thursday to get the specifics from.
Yeah, I
the
think we'll
school
get into that more on Thursday.
Yeah, I've seen your budget committees, your last 2 budget committee meetings. I was here for your last meeting. It seems like the
Minutes
school
got
cannot
passed.
be here in person for whatever reason. I see all the directors
All
here
right,
that have been here earlier.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's 5,
All
okay?
right, thank you.
Next speaker. Yeah, makes a lot of good points.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Courtney Walker, and I'm a resident of Jersey City. I want to thank you, first of all, for the hard work I know and discussions you all were involved in last week, going through the budget line by line to find additional funds for the rental assistance, legal assistance, and food assistance programs. To clarify for the audience here, I think it would be helpful for them to understand when that amendment will be voted on, when the budget will be voted on.
So the plan is to, and I don't know if you got share the copy of what I got with you. I came late. I had to run out and come back. So the plan now is to introduce the resolution on Thursday. And then, assuming it is introduced, there'll then be a public hearing held on
June 23rd.
June 23rd, which is 2 weeks from today, at 6
PM.
6 PM.
Okay.
And then at that point in time, we may or may not be able to adopt the budget. We think we'll be able to, but we don't quite know that yet, correct?
Correct.
Because one issue related to state funding has not been finalized. Is that a fair representation?
Yeah, but that's.
You anticipate it will,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you need to formally have something that to happen for that.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, I appreciate the additional funds found for this programming. I want to encourage the the administration, though, in particular, to continue to work with us as advocates, particularly with where the funding for food assistance and legal assistance ends up going. We would need to be able to know how to access those resources from those additional funds, and get creative, especially with the additional dollars for rental assistance. Since this is our money, we can be creative, as I know that the department is, in finding ways to get people assistance. So we can come up with our own rules for how to administer those funds, of who qualifies, who's eligible, how they're able to prove source of income, et cetera. Maybe it's just residency and not citizenship requirements that those individuals need. So I want to encourage you all to think outside the box with these fundings. And I also want you all to remember that we need to keep working together to keep moving forward and advancing as a community, because otherwise, the county doesn't understand the pain that people in the community are feeling if we're not listening to our voices. So thank you for the additional funds. It comes a little bit up short from the 2 million, but we got something. So thank you.
you.
And Courtney, three
Willie,
thoughts.
Make sure the lights work.
One, I
People
think
know. With the light.
Frank Maz has demonstrated on the rental side, he's the best person in the world to work with.
Yep.
He will figure a way to make sure, to the greatest human degree possible, that it gets into the right hands and helps the right people. And I can't say anything bad about Frank and what he does. On the issue of the legal fees, there'll be an RFP. We'll certainly share that with you, right, Mr. Administrator, before that goes out. I think that our committee doesn't go away today. I think there's a need to have maybe those meetings are once a month and not every 2 weeks, but I think we need to continue to talk, because that's how we find out things. And I think that the proof of that is in the resolution. But once we commit for the services that will be provided with that money, well, there's 150,000 in the budget, and I'll give the exec and the administrator, the credit on this. Once we start doing it, we're doing it, right? Let's be realistic, right, Mr. Administrator? You and I spoke today. Once we're providing this service, then we don't say, oh, the money's gone, sorry. We will have to figure out a way to continue to provide that legal service. And I think that's as if not more important than an exact dollar amount. So.
Okay, next speaker, please. Keep it on the budget, please. Any topics?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Madeline. I'm a medical science major and a published children's book author. And I'm here today to support the proposing funding for rental assistance and legal resources for immigrant families, on the basis that you guys understand this. When I first came to the country, I was about 15 years old. I had no mom or dad to support, protect, or provide. I attended night school, babysat during the day, and I did odd jobs here and there, because even though I was only 15 or 16, nobody cared that I couldn't pay rent or pay for legal bills to get my documentations. Even with the programs that existed during that time, I still struggled. So I ask you to imagine how difficult it would be for many of those immigrant families and young people that are here today, who want nothing more than an opportunity to work, learn, and contribute to the community. Too often, immigrants are judged or stereotyped and told from places that are told that they come from places that are poor, uneducated, or less developed. Yet, when they strive to improve their circumstances, pursue education, and follow the law, they're often met with barriers, criticism, and reminders that they do not belong. Rental assistance and legal support are not handouts. They are tools that help families remain housed, understand their rights, and become active members of the community we call home. We proudly call ourselves the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words mean little unless we are willing to give people the genuine chance to succeed. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. Aaron Weiner, Jersey City resident. I'm speaking on the tax increases in the budget. Last year, the board voted to increase the salaries of the county executive, the commissioners, and the director's salaries. The timing of those increases raised some red flags. I had the feeling that you had planned those increases, knowing you were going to raise our taxes this year. I wanted to fly under the radar. I ask you now, commissioners, in a show of good faith to your electorate, as part of this budget process, repeal your raises. Voting yourself a raise while raising our taxes sort of stinks of crying wolf, doesn't it? Telling us to pay more while you take more is sort of like saying let them eat cake. When the county is facing significant tax and budget pressures, and many officials and residents are describing this as a crisis, again, I implore you to repeal your raises in solidarity with your constituents and show us that you understand and take seriously the impact that raising our taxes has. Thank you.
Thank you. Next
I
speaker.
just want to note for the record that for many years, I voted annually for the raises and never took them personally. Last year, I voted against it because it wasn't for 1 year, it was for multiple years. And I put that on the record that I've always felt strongly that that precedent that was set many years ago, and the administrator would bear this out. I'm the one who found out that we were getting raises without ever doing anything because of some executive order or action that occurred, and we were told that we couldn't do that. We uncovered that that's not the way to do it. And I felt every year after you adopt a budget, raises for the non-union, the directors, the other elected officials, including ourselves, happens after that. Because after that, you know what the budget is, you know what the impact of taxes has been onto the town or towns you represent, and you should then act accordingly. So I just want the record to be clear that I did not vote for the one last year, which granted multiple years of increases as opposed to 1 year.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Thank you.
Come on down.
I can go. Hi, I'm Maya Ponton Aronoff. I live in Weehawken, and I'm with Estamos Unidos and the Union City Community Garden. I wanted to speak in support of allocating these funds for families experiencing emergencies such as ICE detention. And I wanted to see, one, if there's any way that we can push the legal funds up in any way. I know 150,000 was, I'm sure, a lot to even carve out in this amendment, but at the same time, I know that's, 2 lawyers' salaries maybe. And we saw 5 abductions from just Union City, West New York, North Bergen alone yesterday. So in terms of the capacity of those 2 additional attorneys, and then also in the distribution, I had some comments. So I've been working the last year a lot with my neighbors impacted by a variety of emergencies. You guys probably heard the Union City fire, flooding, and then of course, ICE targeting folks. And it's been a real challenge for a lot of the neighbors that I've been organizing with to access existing funds. And so I want to see what we can do for these new funds to make sure they're accessible. Of course, just that someone is a resident of Hudson County would be crucial for helping immigrant families regardless of their status. But beyond that, there can be other obstacles, language barriers. I know the Hudson County Welfare Office, there's a sort of a catch-22 happening where you're supposed to demonstrate ongoing ability to pay. And a lot of folks, maybe they're the mother left behind with 2 kids after the father is taken and abducted by ICE, and they don't have an ongoing ability to pay because they're looking for work for the first time. The breadwinner is now in detention or has been deported, right? And then folks who are working and do have an ability to pay can't make it down to the office in person during the 9 to 5 required because they have work. So there's kind of a catch-22 happening there, and that's just one example. Especially, I've been working with a lot of victims of domestic violence who need funding and support in a very holistic way. We have great organizations in Hudson County that support them, but they're struggling with the capacity, and they need a lot of support navigating a lot of these resources. And there can be barriers with the paperwork. You guys know Hudson County, a lot of times folks are living, maybe they're renting a room and they don't have a proper lease, and the landlord is reluctant to provide a lease. So then when you have rental assistance that requires a formal lease, that can be a huge barrier to someone who's paying, $1,000 in cash for a room every month. And, we can kind of go on. There's dozens of examples about how these challenges come up. And so I'm really excited to see the extra $1 million in rental assistance. It's very badly needed. We have, especially again, a lot of moms who are my neighbors who have been trying for months to find work to keep up with impossible rents to take care of their kids, especially after ICE abductions. And I'd really love to see the county continuing to work with advocacy organizations to see what organizations can house these funds and how do we make it as easy as possible to access them, so that folks who really need the support and who the programs are designed for don't get bogged down in that administrative burden where they're just trying to keep their head above water and there's just, no time to fill out these giant applications and come down to Jersey City and all of these difficulties that have prevented a lot of people from accessing the funds that do exist that I've been trying to support. And there's families I've been working with who still, like after like 4 months, can't even access like the 1 month of assistance that they already might be able to just because of these barriers. So I'd love for that to be kept in mind. And the same with the legal services. So for example, Northeastern Legal Services offers support with filing U visa applications, but not for going to like a court date if you have an ongoing asylum process. So we have a number of people who they need a lawyer who can do both. They can't have someone who just files the U visa and they can't have someone who just represents them in the court date. And to find an immigration attorney who does both is extraordinarily expensive. And so that's kind of factors that can be thought of. Okay, who are the lawyers that are hired by this legal services funding going to serve? Are there, status restrictions on who they're serving? That's going to be a huge issue. And are there going to be restrictions on the type of immigration situations they can handle? I would say the more flexible, the better, so that they can treat cases holistically when there's like complex, different legal factors happening at one time. And maybe working with organizations like SEUS or the existing legal service organizations that get the DDDI funding to see, okay, where can we house these funds so that they're maximally flexible, I guess, in terms of what the attorneys are capable of doing for the community. So thank you so much for your time. And I hope to see these funds passed and more. It's definitely direly needed. And the downstream effects on these families are like felt throughout our whole neighborhoods in terms of, people don't have the money to shop. They don't have the, it's everybody's hurting when one family is in trouble. So thank you so much.
Next speaker.
Well, excuse me, I reserve the right as an elected official to question or comment on speakers. So 2 things. One, I would ask that maybe the whole transcript, but certainly your transcript be forwarded to county council, because county council will ultimately have to develop an RFP to secure the legal services. So the ability to know many of the things you just raised is important. And I was just going to suggest if you could leave your contact with the clerk, with our deputy here, that we would make sure that the county council has it. So you should reach out to him as he's developing the RP. On the issue with the rental assistance, it'll never be perfect. Many of the points you raised are critical. If individuals are working just enough to be able to survive, but can't fully pay their rent or have to come up with back rent, and we need to change hours or offer services somewhere else on a certain time. Again, like Frank Mazza has been someone we've worked with for a long time, and we call him up on Saturdays and Sundays with problems, and he will find a way to within every reasonable legal manner, to work with to help you. So.
Great. Yeah, I'll leave my contact and
Okay.
I'm sure some of the organizations can send follow-up email too, with
Perfect.
like example scenarios.
Okay.
Thank you. Next speaker.
You're good.
I was just going to say, we have an office in Union City Hall. They don't have to come to Jersey City. That fire, the last fire in Union City, we have all of those families placed. We're going to pay rent and security when they find an apartment, and not one of them had to come to Jersey City. The amount of referrals we get out of Union City Hall is a lot every day, and none of them have to come. So we're willing to figure that out. So
Yeah, and
thank you
again,
so
if
much,
Frank,
Jersey.
if there became a West Hudson demand based on it, and Mayor Doyle or whatever wanted to create an ability to have access at one of the city halls in West Hudson.
We're in City Hall.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, we go out of our way to do it. If there's a need to create hours that aren't 9 to 5, we find a way to do it. I'm not that's
Thank you.
different.
Good. Next speaker.
Give him your
Record,
card too.
Commissioner Sefeli is on via Zoom.
Okay,
Oh, welcome.
go ahead.
Welcome, Al.
Hi, everybody. Ryan, Jersey City resident over a decade. And I wanted to just say thank you to the county executive for introducing this amendment. And I want to thank you in advance for voting in favor of it. I will just be honest, it makes me a little nervous when we have to wait a couple more weeks because there are families who are in limbo now that, I mean, truthfully, and the previous speaker, Maya, just alluded to this. Now that the escalation we saw at Delaney Hall over the past couple weeks is kind of cooling down, we've seen more ICE agents on our streets and more abductions happening here in Hudson County once again. And so, yeah, we just want to make sure that those families are able to access these resources as quickly as possible. And also, I want to, something you said, Commissioner O'Day, I want to just thank you for the idea in terms of continuing the task force and just moving it from like a biweekly to monthly thing. I think that is a good accountability mechanism so that we can continue the conversations between advocates and, you know, folks in the county. Lastly, I would just say, you know, I know we're all doing our part here, right? There are trained volunteers ensuring that our neighbors know their legal rights and doing everything they can to ensure that no one is kidnapped off the streets by agents who don't have a judicial warrant. We have tons of folks on the ground outside of Delaney Hall supporting families when they come to visit their loved ones locked inside, who are making sure that they're connected to different resources that exist and community and all sorts of support. And so, yeah, we need you to do your part here and be one of the resources that we can make sure those families who go to visit their loved ones are able to be referred to. And just to Courtney and Maya's earlier points, just please ensure, you know, after passing this funding or while you know, workshopping it, that the eligibility piece is worked out. We want to make sure that whatever the family situation is, if they've experienced an ICE abduction, if they've lost their primary breadwinner, maybe there's a mother who's not been working but is at home with the children, we want to make sure that she's able to access support. And she, regardless of her citizenship status, regardless of her work status, is able to take advantage of these funds. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Well, the speaker's come up, Abe, do we provide any funding in our budget to the college?
Yes.
County college, okay. I'll have a question later.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? My name is Tracy Luce. I've lived in Jersey City for about 26 years now. Just was a question about the funding and how much of the funding there is. I would just like to offer that there's always money for more policing, and there's always money for more incarceration, and there's always money for more violence, and there's always money for developers to take a kickback or whatever. And I would just like to encourage this body to lead and lead with courage. We are lacking in leadership right now. And if you can make the decision and pass more funding, the $2 million that was asked, you will really embolden other local agencies to do the same. I feel like New Jersey is at the forefront, even though we're behind. But other governments don't have, other municipalities and other governments, other state governments don't have a good example to follow, a strong example to follow, a fearless, courageous, compassionate example to follow. We had 4 years to create a compassionate pathway to citizenship, and our leadership failed us. And that's largely why we're in this catastrophe right now. And so I would love for you, and I invite you and encourage you to do something different and lead for the people and represent the working people of Hudson County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, nice to see you all again. Thank you to the Board of Commissioners and the other speakers. My name is Maya Lauer. I'm the coordinator for the Apoyo a Familias Separadas, or Support for Separated Families program, run by Centro Comunitario Seus of North Bergen. I am here along with members and supporters of Seus to urge you to vote for the proposal to insert at least 1.3 million into the county budget to help fund legal services and rental assistance for families that have had a loved one detained or deported and are struggling to recover on their own. Alongside some of the numbers shared today, the stories coming out of Hudson County speak to the scale of the crisis in this community. Here are a few others with identifying details changed. When Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained Katya's husband on May 12th, they left her alone with 5 children and no one to help care for them. With 3 kids under 9 and a child with epilepsy and autism, she left work to stay home with her family full-time. In the months since her husband was detained, Katya's family has met with a lawyer. But without the money to pay the price he is asking, there is no promise he will retain their case. When Sarah's husband was deported in March, she was 4 months pregnant. Now, with no way to work and no health insurance, she is unable to get SNAP, and like so many others, behind on rent. Maritza came to the US with an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old after fleeing gang violence and domestic abuse in Honduras. When she arrived in New Jersey, one son was suffering from prenatal injuries, and the other, after years of trauma, did not know how to read. Now they are preparing for their final hearing in court after seeking asylum at the border in 2024. 2 years into fighting the case, Maritza is still unable to find a lawyer. For the families we work with, legal services and rental assistance can be the difference between suffering and stability. We have seen those who have found a lawyer or gotten help paying the rent reunite with their loved ones, catch up on bills, and return to some version of life as before. But for so many of our clients, this is still out of reach. After 15 months of ICE deportations and detentions in the county or longer, and the strain they have put on county resources, many of the organizations we work with are overwhelmed, underfunded, and unable to do much for undocumented families. One legal service provider we partner with only does intakes 1 day out of every month. Another is no longer accepting asylum cases in New Jersey, and a third has a wait list that is closed until July. These are all very large organizations, by the way. The rental assistance programs in our network are similarly limited, with declining funds and services that are restricted to citizens only. And the cost of this crisis is not contained to the organization or the individual. The county has also had a price to pay. In a community where so many now have no money to buy groceries and no one to help with school drop-offs, businesses are struggling, classrooms are half empty, and the fabric of the county has suffered. This is why the budget measure before you is so important. More funding for legal services and rental assistance means more community members who are able to access a lawyer, recover financially, and bring their loved ones home. It means reunited families, stabler homes, and a healthier community. This bill would help pregnant people like Sarah catch up on rent so that she can pay for her doctor's visits. It would equip moms like Katya to get their partners out of detention so they no longer have to parent alone. It would allow asylum seekers like Maritza to access a lawyer so that her family can have a shot at freedom. For families unable to obtain these legal services and rental assistance, this proposal offers a path forward. It is a chance to reunite, rebuild, and recontribute to the county they call home. With this addition to the budget, school attendance can go up, storefronts will reopen, and life will return to the county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Eleni Beja. I'm a resident of Hoboken, and I want to echo the thanks for your hard work in finding funds to support legal housing and food services for those impacted by the ICE presence in our community. And also Commissioner O'Day, thank you for your continued interest and support in the ongoing participation with the task force. And I want to strongly encourage you to, all of you, to support inserting money into the additional money into the budget to support these services. As others mentioned, in spite of the incredible and incredibly exhausting work of many members of our community, there is a gap between the reality of what is happening in our county and what we say that we stand for in New Jersey's motto, in our county seal, and in the oath that our commissioners swore to uphold as leaders, basically to treat everybody humanely and with due process. Our New Jersey motto is liberty and prosperity. The county seal right over there features the scales of justice, and all of you swore to support the Constitution faithfully, impartially, and justly, including the commitment to our 14th Amendment to ensure that no person is deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. This request for additional funding is an opportunity for all of you to lead, to continue leading in spite of what is happening at other levels of government. To uphold that oath that you took in front of Lady Justice, who is blindfolded and doesn't cherry pick who gets the justice, who happened to be born in what place and with what paperwork. I hope you'll take that opportunity to follow through and lead and be true to your word. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Hugh Morley. I'm from North Bergen. I've been a Hudson County resident for about 30 years or so. I want to thank you for supporting the ask that the coalition of groups over here put together. And I'd like to thank Courtney and Ryan for their great efforts in putting it together and leading this effort. I just wanted to pick up on something that was brought up last meeting we were here, which is with one county and the amount of money that already goes towards them to provide certain legal services, although I don't think that they're doing as I understand it, they don't do the legal services that would help the detainees in deportations. And I understand that there was some discussion that maybe they could redirect their efforts towards the kind of population that we're talking about. I was wondering if that is still something that the county is exploring, and is that a possibility? Because I think they were getting $350,000, and so if they could focus more on the detention and deportation type cases, then that would help alleviate some of the cases that we're talking about here. Is that still an option, and is that being explored, or is that, how does that?
When you finish speaking, they'll answer, okay?
Okay, I finished. Thank you very much.
You have an answer.
Pointing at me?
I don't know who would answer that. Waterfront project, I guess, right?
De Niro?
No, I think the speaker is referring to those that are in a detention facility, if there's any legal services for them. That isn't something that we're doing.
Yeah, no, I'm referring to, when we were here last time, there was discussion that the county already spends $350,000 or allocates $350,000 for legal services to one New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Yes, so they're-
And so my question is,
It's We Are One New Jersey.
We Are One New
And
Jersey.
the
Okay.
$350 is not legal services. There's a portion of it
Right.
that is for legal, but a lot of it is for staffing.
okay, and the portion that is for legal services, can that be directed more towards this kind of cases that we're talking about, deportations and detentions?
Discussions,
Yeah.
yes, there are
Yes.
ongoing discussions. Their contract comes up in September.
Yes.
But potentially before, there have been ongoing discussions as to whether or not to have them redirect
Right.
Right,
their priorities, legal and other, more towards assisting immigrants in situations that may be in detention.
great.
So that's outside of the dollars that are being proposed in this amendment. That's dollars that they get, that
Already.
we're trying to work with them. Because look, they've done a great job over the years in assisting individuals gain permanent status, gain their citizenship. But right now, we're in a crisis where we just need to keep people from being deported from our country.
Exactly.
So we work with them, and I've only had one or two brief discussions with them. I know the administrator and executive have had more details about how can they, for now, redirect focus more, which would provide additional legal resources to the issues that have been very important in the discussions with them.
Thank you,
Great.
sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Next speaker. No more speakers, motion?
But before, if there are no more speakers, I just wanted to.
One more.
One more.
Yeah.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Daniel. I'm a Weehawken resident. I just wanted to express gratitude for considering the funds that are going to be allocated to, hopefully, allocated to the legal services and the rental assistance. And as someone who has been working with the community as a part of a community-based organization called Estamos Unidos in Hudson County in sort of the Union City area, I can tell you that rental assistance is something that is very much needed, very much needed. And, you know, I think a previous speaker had said that the burden that ICE and the oppression that, you know, our neighbors and that we're facing right now from the federal government is putting on families is crippling. And the amount of dollars that you know, we invest in as a community, as a county, in things like police and things like other, you know, other sources of budget, you know, is great. It's very, very large relative to what we're doing here in terms of rental assistance. And so I would just encourage you all to continue to be creative like you had been in finding the money for this, and continue to think about how can we continue to help the families and our neighbors? How can we continue to help the residents? Because it doesn't just affect the neighbors that are, you know, that are suffering at this moment. It's affecting everybody in the community, and I can tell you that. I also wanted to encourage you all to continue to think about the implementation of those funding and how the funds are actually going to get dispersed. I know a previous speaker had pointed to some of the organizations that are doing great work in the community, SEUS, Action 21, these types of organizations who are experienced in dispersing these types of funds. And I would encourage when the funds become available, that those organizations are consulted. And also, you know, to point back to someone had raised when there was a fire in Union City recently, those families are taken care of. I think that's a great example on how we can use the funds that would be coming for rental assistance and for legal assistance. What are the lessons learned from that, and how we can get that money distributed into the community? So I would encourage the commissioners to consider those ways to reduce barriers to access the funding if and when, hopefully, that the funding is made available. And then to continue to think about where else can we get more funding? Because we, as the folks who are paying the taxes and you know, our neighbors here, we want that funding to be available. So please hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
Are there any
just
other-
there's one more speaker, but just so for the record, you know, there's a final piece of this that probably will not get resolved prior to adoption of the budget, but myself and Commissioner Cedeno, and I have to give her kudos. I'm the guy that talks a lot, but she gets a lot of stuff done. Have been working very diligently through the Immigrant Safety Committee, and one of the areas that we're still asking the county to identify funding for is for some support funds for nonprofits. Not a lot, maybe 150,000 to be divided among 2 or 3, to give you some additional resources, because you're the boots on the ground, right? At the end of the day, whatever we do, you need boots on the ground. And we've learned and seen over the course of several months the fruits of your labor. And the fact that you being on the ground brought to our attention what issues there were, what things weren't being addressed, whether it's legal, whether it's rental assistance, whether it's accessing and getting food to people who right now won't go out and wait on a line to get food because they're deathly afraid that ICE agents are going to swarm down there and take them and their children away. So I think that that's the last piece. It's not a lot, right? And you know, I don't think we're going to try to to hold up, things for that. I have faith and confidence in the county exec and the county administrator when they say, trust us, we'll figure out a way to do it. But I would tell you that in those budget hearings, I probably asked more questions about more line items by dollar amounts to make sure that we work together to help.
Yeah, I want to make a
identify
comment too.
Appreciate that.
Everything that was done by this whole board, this entire board of commissioners and the directors and their staffs to ensure that this money is going to be distributed, that it's going to be approved. It's a unanimous board that agrees. And I want to thank and make sure that all the board members are appreciated for what they do, as well as all the directors. Next speaker.
Good day. How you doing? Pleasure to be here, Mr. Romano. I've met you before. I'm a professor over at Hudson
Yes.
Community College. Definitely a pleasure. Thank you, Mr. O'Day, for the opportunity and everybody else here. Long story short, I've been denied my tenure at Hudson Community College. I've been teaching there for 7 years. As you know, I used to work in the Department of Corrections in New York City and Rikers Island.
That's right.
I've been able to bring that experience directly into the classroom, be able to help students learn what the criminal justice system is like from a more practical perspective and not just textbook. However, a committee of my peers has decided that I am not qualified enough to basically maintain positionality at Hudson, even though I've been there for 7 years. I've been able to create different initiatives such as the Brotherhood, which basically focuses on young men of color's retention rates. We know that community college struggles with retention. Hudson specifically with the part-time population, which is half the population, has a 43% retention rate. The full-time population is at 61% after 1 full year of enrollment at the college. So long story short, I've been able to assist in being able to allow students to feel more comfortable staying at the college. My evaluations from students say that I'm a great professor. My observations from other faculty and from deans and supervisors are able to support the same things as well. So basically, I just wanted to see if there's a way to review this. At the end of the day, Hudson is continually growing. I think it's come a long way from where it used to be. I actually was a student at Hudson back in 2009, a part of the Police and Fire program. So I'm as homegrown as it gets when it comes to being a professor at the college. But yet I'm not qualified to teach at the college, basically to my own constituents and my own community or what have you. So I would like to basically just open up the conversation as far as like, what are the different discussion points, different options, different routes that we could take and go from there. Thank you.
Thank you.
So my concern is that he's the only person that was denied tenure. Is it a financial issue or what is the issue? I'd like to have.
No, they don't have a discussion. Billy's asking
Yeah, I'd
a
like to
question.
have someone from the college available for Thursday. Do we have the ability to cut their money, or they're just like the schools of technology? Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it.
And Mr. Chairman, I caution that.
Yeah, that's
when
his
it comes to
personnel.
The issue of tenure, that is not within the purview of the board. There is confidential issues there. I would tread lightly on exploring that.
I'm going to tread lightly, but at the end of the day, when a minority individual is the only individual denied tenure, I, as an elected official, feel I have a legal and moral responsibility to start to look into that, because one becomes a pattern. And in the midst of what happened to this individual, the president's gone. The president left. I don't know what role he played or did not play in that. There's a new president in there. And I don't think it's unreasonable to request that the acting president, or when you get a new president in there, review actions that may have occurred in the waning days of a presidency. I think that's a reasonable request without getting into the nitty-gritty details of what occurred. But one individual who's a Hispanic is denied tenure of everyone that's afforded tenure. Issues have been raised that I'm not going to put in the record concerning conflicts of interest from review groups. I'm not going to put that on the record. But I, as one elected official, and if nothing else, I'll ask that when the transcript of this meeting is completed, that I get a copy and that I send a copy to the state commissioner of higher education with a request from me to have it reviewed. I don't know what all the appeal process is, but I did tell you one thing I know, because someone from the community told me. When that individual went to a town meeting and the appeal had not been resolved yet, and spoke at that town meeting, the next morning he was told the appeals denied. That's one hell of a coincidence. That's one hell of a coincidence.
Okay. All right.
May I have a motion?
Motion to close.
Wait, there's no more speakers?
No, motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Hold on. We'll have a
Wait,
commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, the public hearing on the budget is now closed, so, we will be, reviewing the amendment with the Department of Community Affairs, and if they are okay with it, then
Then
we
we'll
will
come
present
forward.
the amendment, for Thursday's meeting.
You got
So
it?
the intention is speak to DCA, present an amendment Thursday. We introduce the amendment Thursday, schedule a public hearing for 2 weeks from today at 6
Yeah.
o'clock. And then we may or may not vote to adopt at that night. So
Correct.
anyone who came here, there is a decent likelihood that at that meeting, we will be voting to amend and adopt the budget. Correct?
Correct.
Also, one last
As
comment,
long as 5 people.
with regard to all the law enforcement agencies here.
Vote for it.
I'll have to vote.
If it's not said enough, we appreciate and thank you for protecting all the people in this county, always. So thank you for that. God bless, and let's keep it up.
Motion to adjourn? All in favor?